parent seminar. I'm so glad you can make it here today. I assume you guys are all either expecting or have a newborn already on the way. So today we're just going to cover over some topics. Some may be controversial, but this is a no judgment zone. So we're going to cover some topics. Feel free to ask anything, and we're here to help discuss with you and talk to you about some things so you can take home some useful information and you can make your own decision based on the information I give you. So does anyone have any questions they'd like to start off with? Yes.
I have a newborn and I'd like for it to sleep with me, but my husband always tells me no, that it's not a good idea. Do you have any information about co-sleeping?
So co-sleeping is a tricky topic because of course you want to feel that connection with your baby and you want to hold it tight. There are some pros that I would recommend. One, it does make your baby feel safer because you just gave birth to it, and that close contact helps with skin to skin, so it gets connected with you. You are able to nurture the baby. It is easier if you choose to breastfeed because you don't have to get up constantly throughout the night to go to the crib. Less time spent getting up and laying down through the night because I know as new parents you're really tired and sometimes it's just really hard to get out of bed. And more rest time afterwards, just giving birth, like you're able to just lay in bed more and like get that really time you need to recuperate your body. Some cons, I would say, it does increase the chance of SIDS because the baby is really young, more likely in males than females. The risk from parenting engaging in risky behaviors. Also, if you decide to sleep with your baby, it takes away from the connection you have with your spouse because you're focused more on the baby, and it's really important to stay connected with your spouse even after the baby is born because you want to still build on your connection, trust, and caregiving with your spouse. So that might be something you might want to think about as you'll have less time, one-on-one time with your husband. Baby could overheat, it's a possibility, and you don't want that to happen because their lungs are so little so they can asphyxiate. And it is harder for them to transition to a crib later on, and if you decide to put them in a daycare, if they're just used to sleeping with you, it's going to be really hard on the workers at a daycare because you're just going to want someone to hold them the entire time. So really there are pros and cons to either co-sleeping or putting your child down in a crib. It's really your decision to make, but I would really recommend you look up resources and other websites that tells you more stats on everything so you can make a further decision. Alright, now that we covered some of the discussions about co-sleeping versus sleep training, does anyone else have a question? Yes.
So I want to know more about the pros and cons between breastfeeding and then formula.
Okay, of course. So of course with breastfeeding it does help defend against infections, prevent allergies, protect against a number of chronic conditions. That's just because the mom formulates that and that's what the baby will be drinking, and it's able to transmit a stronger immunity for the baby. And also according to the AAP, the American Medical Association, they recommend breastfeeding as the best choice for babies, and they say to do this exclusively for the first 6 months, and beyond that breastfeeding is encouraged until at least 12 months. The good thing about breastfeeding is that they do have fewer infections and hospitalizations than formula-fed babies, and this could include ear infections, diarrhea, respiratory infections, meningitis, and can just protect against allergies, asthma, diabetes, obesity, and some people don't know this, but it also can prevent sudden infant death syndrome. One thing though is women who are breastfeeding need to be aware that breast milk does not transmit vitamin D, so you are going to have to supplement that to your baby in some other way. As opposed to formula-fed babies, it does have all those vitamins that is needed and that the FDA regulates into their formula. Another one thing that you might want to know about formula is it really depends on if you can or can't. If you can, it's recommended that you do it, but if you have a very busy schedule for some reason or the baby just isn't latching on correctly and you want to consider formula, it is really nice for convenience because either parent, caregiver, whatever, you guys can feed the baby whenever you want to instead of having to pump or having to get up like throughout the night like yourself and breastfeed your baby. Like whoever's taking care of the baby can just get a bottle, warm it up correctly, and give it to the baby. Also flexibility can be easier, so when you send your child to daycare you can just send formula in the bottle with water and they can feed as needed. And also when you're out in public, not every place has a place suitable for breastfeeding, so it can just be easier. When bringing a new baby home, hospitals are going to make sure that you have a properly rear-facing installed car seat. It is important that babies stay in a rear-facing car seat until at least the first year of life or until they're 20 pounds. Research also indicates that you should keep your baby at least in a rear-facing car seat at 2 years old. Rear-facing car seats have a base at the bottom, and the child's seat will be facing back towards you, where you will lock and unlock when you take the baby in and out of the car seat. So first you must separate the carrier from the base. Usually there's a button that you can push somewhere on the car seat, and it'll be easily to unlock and click. Next, you anchor the base to your car's back seat. Over here there will be a lock and a hook, and you simply make it tight enough and adjust the straps to make sure that it's tight enough. Next, you need to thread the seatbelt through the base, which is typically around here, and the seatbelt goes underneath and wraps around the back of your car seat. Next, you just pop the infant car seat right onto the base, secure its lock, and make sure that the seatbelt is tightly secured. Always make sure that you are double checking the tightness of your straps on the car seat. If you have any doubts whatsoever, take the whole thing apart and redo it and have someone help you and get a second opinion.